Called House of Horrors is somewhere that our next guest is sadly all too familiar with, having lived at 25 Cromwell Street as Fred and Rose West's lodger for 18 months.
As she reveals how she escaped and survived for the first time in a brand new memoir, Kathleen Richards joins us now. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us on our sofa.
And Kathy, I just want to say as well, I know you're nervous. We just had a little chat in the break. Yeah. It's us.
Yeah.
It's just us two, and we're going to talk about this whole experience of yours that is so surreal. The fact that you lived in that house as a lodger, and your new memoir, it tells a brutally honest tale of what you went through there. Why now for you to do this?
Well, my daughter, Hannah, she encouraged me to talk about it, and I couldn't for years. I just kept it in my head, and I decided I will, just if I write it down. So when I started to write it down, and wrote it, it helped.
So it's been like therapy, is it?
Yeah, it's helped a lot.
And how did you come to live with the West, Kathy?
Myself and my sister, my sister had a baby, and my dad, he was quite strict. And we were told, well, my sister was told to move out of the house because there wasn't a lot of room in, it's only a small house. And I was told to go with her to help with the baby. And so we both went, but we heard of 25 Cromwell Street. You know, it was well known that they had rooms there, and they were cheap as well. And the West were, dare I say it, a nice couple.
Well, this is the thing. Like, what was your first impressions of them? You know, you didn't know them. They're just lovely.
Yeah,
lovely couple.
Helpful.
So you move in.
Yeah.
And how was it for the short time at the beginning?
For about 6 weeks, it was nice. It was okay. We could hear Rose shouting at the children. She was always shouting. But, you know, we felt safe because it was parents and children. So it's home from home, really. We felt safe.
Yeah. And when you were there, you obviously met another lodger called Shirley, and she was pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
And what was her relationship like with Fred and Rose?
Well, when I first arrived there, Fred introduced, this is his wife, this is my lover, Shirley, pointed to this young girl. And
she was only 17, wasn't she?
Yeah. She was the same age as me. So we just thought it was a joke, you know?
Yeah.
He's just a dirty old man, like, you know? We didn't, you know, why is he saying that? It's just joking. But no one laughed. So we just, he showed us to the room, and that was it.
It's soon become apparent to you that, you know, what we'd call these days a red flag. There were certain things that you were noticing or picking up on that were making you go, oh, I don't know if this is sort of a good little setup here. What was it that you noticed, like in the bedrooms and stuff like that?
Yeah, in the bedroom when we went in, there was like drilled holes, call them, on the wall between.
Well, like peepholes.
Yeah, from our room to the landing. The landing was outside, and yeah, there was holes. I just said to my sister, are they, you know? And she said, yeah. So anyway, we just kept trying to fill the holes with newspaper and twigs that we found in the park, and you know, all that kind of thing. So, yeah.
But you noticed they kept getting pushed through, and.
But we thought it was the children playing a game. We just thought, oh, it's the children just chucking, you know, thinking it's funny.
So you were there for about just over a year.
Yeah.
About 18 months you were there for. And you were there with your sister, and your sister had a baby at the time as well. Yeah. Was he ever inappropriate with you or your sister or the baby?
Well, with me, yeah.
Right.
Because my sister would go up to Derby a lot to see her friends, and so I'd be there a lot on my own. Yeah, so he was groping me, and when I'd walk by, and lots of things. And that's why I found it so hard to talk about, because after what happened as a child, I was just full of shame. Just,
of course.
You know, and I just thought it was my fault. Like, that's the way it's.
And you've got to think, back then things were very different, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was a lot harder to speak out in those times. You noticed that Shirley went missing.
Yeah.
It was like, where's Shirley gone?
Yeah.
And obviously this is someone you know, it's someone you become friendly with. When you approached Fred and Rose and said, look, where's Shirley? What did they say to you?
Well, he said she's just left. She's gone to Germany. I was like, oh, OK. I didn't quite believe that because she never mentioned Germany. She never, you know, so...
And she's still pregnant?
heavily pregnant at this time, yeah.
And she told you the baby was Fred's baby?
Yeah.
And what did Rose think about that?
She just, nothing.
What?
That's why I thought it was strange in court when she said she didn't know Shirley. She didn't know who Shirley was. You know?
So when was it? I mean, there's a part in the book that, I mean, it's harrowing to talk about now. You remember looking out of the window and you saw them digging up in the garden, didn't you?
Yeah.
And how did Fred explain that when you said, like, oh, what are you up to?
Yeah, he was just digging. Like, he'd always be doing DIY and doing something, making something. We'd always hear hammering and everything else. But our dad was the same. He was good at DIY. He was always doing. So to us, everything was just normal.
Yeah.
And so like we'd look out our window because ours was over the garden, and we'd see him digging and like whatever, and we used to just think, oh, he's probably digging a swimming pool. We were 17, naive, like just thinking and hoping it's a swimming pool.
And did you ever have any inclination? Because obviously Shirley's gone missing, she's pregnant, he's out there, digging. Did you ever have any inclination? Did it ever cross your mind at all at that age?
Because he was a father, he was a dad. It was just you wouldn't even think it. And he was jokey and friendly and helpful and
everyone in the area liked him, didn't
Yeah.
they? Well, that's how they've hid for so many years, wasn't it?
yeah.
So when was it for you that you started to realise, I've got to get out of this house?
After Shirley went missing, he was like, I'd walk by in the hallway or go up the stairs, and he seemed to be always there, and he'd just grope me, like whatever. But at 17, and honestly, we had nowhere else to go as well. We were just that we were there because we had nowhere to go. But I kind of, at 17, I just let it, go. I was just an old man, like thinking, that kind of way. But no, you just wouldn't think it's anything else. It's just that.
When did you realise the atrocities that had gone on in that house?
Years later, when they got arrested.
So when it hit the news,
Yeah.
that's when you found out
Yeah.
that Shirley was the one that he'd been burying that hole for in the garden. My goodness, like what was going through your mind at that time?
Just unbelievable, shock, disgusted. Like I phoned my sister, she lived up in Derby, and I phoned her, and as soon as I just said hello, she just said, I know. So we didn't speak, we were just quiet. I could hear her breathe. It was just so quiet, like we had no words. We were just shocked. Like we lived there, so how lucky was I? That was what my sister said.
Well, it must have then dawned on you both that, hang on a minute, this could have been us.
Yeah.
This could have been us.
But I start finding, over the years, start feeling guilty, thinking, I could have done something, I could have helped.
How, though?
And that's another reason why I never spoke out, because I actually thought I'd get arrested because I didn't say. Do you know what I mean?
But you didn't know anything.
I know.
You were only a kid, you were 17 years of age. How could you? And it would never pass your brain that you could do something that sick and perverted in the first place.
Exactly, yeah.
And the saddest thing is you actually left a bag of baby clothes out for Shirley, didn't you?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We left them there in the room because we were saying, she's probably going to come back for them. She's going to need them.
Well, she didn't have any money, did she, Shirley?
No.
The cogs started turning in your head a bit, going, well, has she afforded to move to Germany and go and live a life out there? She must be coming back at some point.
The worst part, I think, is when we seen him digging up outside and we was digging a hole, and then, like, he'd just fill it. The next time we look, we think he's...
Well, what's he dug that for and then filled it back up again?
Yeah. This was... But when they got arrested and we knew why, it was like, oh, my God, we were probably looking at that,
And he got arrested. You were one of the witnesses in court.
Yeah.
And he took his own life. He did the cowardly way out, didn't he? But you had to face Rose. What was that like, Kathy, having to face her, knowing the atrocities that she'd carried out?
Absolutely. I didn't want to go. I just wouldn't be... I thought I couldn't face her, but obviously I had to go to court. But, it was... I couldn't even look at it. It was just, You
just can't... The process. What you've been through.
And another part of me wanted to shout at her.
Yeah, of course.
And just, why, you're sick,
Why was she... What was she like? What was her reaction like when they were reading out everything that they'd done?
She was just stood there, no emotion, no nothing, just stood there. So I glanced over, thinking, she's a mum. That's what I couldn't get my head round, you know.
Was she quite cold when she lived there as well? Was she?
Yeah, but she had a nice persona, and then she'd start talking like a little girl, like, you know, when my mum, who I think saved me there, really, because she used to pop around and check, you know. And maybe that's what saved us, because he probably thought, well, I can't go too far.
Because if your mum pops around and you're not there, and you know they're going to start pointing fingers.
Right. So that's
Well, thank goodness she did.
Yeah,
thank goodness she did. It's been a long while since this all happened, and you rightly say now you're ready to sort of talk about this experience. You've done that in your book, Under Their Roof, Kathleen Richards. You've done this with Anne Cusack as well. Josie said at the top it was almost like therapy in a way for you doing this. And we get that a lot with people come on and talk about their books and their stories. Do you feel that this is sort of your truth and your real feelings about what happened? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, the whole lot. It's there's other things in there as well, other things that I've went through. And I just feel that I could help others. It's like, hopefully, in, you know, a weird way, that it's a self-help book. Yeah. That you can get, you know, happiness. You know, it's hard to keep going, like, as I say in the book there. It's hard, you know, there's a lot of hard things happened, but bad things. But, yeah, there is a way out, you know, you can, but you need to talk. Yeah. Because I held it for so long.
Yeah, we can, Kath, we can tell the way you are today. You know, it feels like it's just all brewing up now. Yeah. This is here.
And you still live in Gloucester,
Gloucestershire now.
So you're in Gloucestershire now?
Yeah.
So you've left Gloucester then? Because I would imagine that is haunting every day.
Yeah. I never went down Cromwell Street after. When I heard that the building was taken down, I did with a friend. The friend drove up. I had to just see it for myself, that the house was gone.
Almost like closure.
Yeah.
Kathy, you've got to let go of this thing of the guilt, because you did nothing wrong. No. You were a child, you know, and you've been so strong, everything that you've been through. And then to go and be a witness in court, you know,
it's a lot.
Yeah, you've done marvellous. And thank you for putting pen to paper and telling us what really went on there.
Thank you for coming on here, Kath. We really mean it. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to see you, Kath. Thank you so much. Kathy's memoir, Under Their Roof, is out
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.